back to Techstrong Unplugged. My name is Cassandra Chin, and today we're here with Ricardo Aravena. And we're at KubeCon North America at Salt Lake City. So can you do a short introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ricardo Aravena. I currently lead the Tag Runtime group in the CNCF, and I also lead the Cloud Native AI working group that falls within the Tag Runtime, also in the CNCF. I've also worked in many different companies in the industry, in tech primarily, for over 20 years. You know, small companies, um, large companies like Cisco, VMware, and small startups like recently one called Era, where we had a machine learning monitoring and observability solution.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you got into technology? Like, what really inspired you?
I got into technology very early in life. I can't remember how old I was, but must have been around maybe 9 or 10 years old when I started going to some bookstores that had computer magazines. So they talked about these old computers like the 8-bit Commodore 64 and Atari 8-bit computers. And for some reason, I got excited about them. It also tied in with like gaming. So I got interested in gaming initially. I don't do a lot of gaming now, but I got super interested in gaming and together with computers, then that led to me being super interested in technology, right, and in computers. So that led me to have a college degree in computer engineering, right? So
I think the part about gaming is still true today. Like, how I got into technology is I used to run a Minecraft server, and
uh
like, whenever it would break down, I would have to fix it.
yeah, I think that's yeah. When you get started, it's something that grabs your attention, and then you just want to keep on learning and getting trying to understand how things work underneath too, right? Like like how do they build these games or something, right? And then you start going through a different path.
So, what kind of games was it for you which really inspired you?
I mean, you talk about early games such as like Space Invaders, right? Like the little ones where you had like a tower at the bottom, and there were these invaders coming at the top of the screen, and you were shooting them and trying not to actually invade you, right? So, uh, really basic games, right? And then later, maybe some of the more popular games like World of Warcraft, so I got involved in that, but. To be honest, I haven't gamed in the last maybe 20 plus years or maybe 10, 15 years. I can't remember, but it sort of got kind of became sort of like in the so a notion in the back burner. I still like it, but I don't do it that much. But it did actually help me get interested in the technology field.
Yeah, it's still important too because it's really what got you going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So today we're at KubeCon. Like, you run the AI working group.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what they do?
Yeah, so we have several initiatives going on. We got started with Cloud Native AI white paper published at KubeCon Paris or right before KubeCon Paris. And that talks about the machine learning lifecycle and how you can use open source to enable that machine learning lifecycle, meaning how you prepare the data, how you train your machine learning model, and how you serve your machine learning model. So all the different aspects, and in additionally observability. Uh, so that was published at KubeCon, and that kicked off a bunch of initiatives in the group. So today we have things going on like scheduling challenges white paper. So how organizations can use open source to schedule AI type of workloads on top of Kubernetes, on top of cloud native projects. We also have a security white paper, some challenges around safety, around uh, hacking attacks or vulnerabilities. And then we also have environmental sustainability AI white paper in conjunction with the tag environmental sustainability. So how to uh, be more mindful about running this type of AI workloads because they're very expensive and they use a lot of compute. And they consume a lot of power, right?
You mentioned the sustainability paper.
Yeah,
Is that just like a single paper or a section of a different paper?
it is like a single paper, but there is an existing tag environmental sustainability uh, in the CNCF that is collaborating with our working group, right? Yeah, so that's it. I mean, those are some of the examples. There are some super exciting things around how you can use AI to help cloud native, right? So not just how you can run AI on top of cloud native, but like how you can use the output of an LLM to improve the uh, Kubernetes pods running in your cluster, right? Like how to utilize them more efficiently, how to find gaps, or how to find problems or issues, or how to maybe make it easy for engineers to issue or write like a prompt that says, "Tell me something, tell me if something's wrong with my Kubernetes cluster," and coming up with like this, you know, very descriptive natural language response that can help people troubleshoot some of these problems in infrastructure and cloud native uh, uh, environments, right? So,
If someone watching this interview today wanted to get involved and join a working group and help with these white papers, how can they do it?
I say start joining our meetings. You can get on our Slack channels and look at our agendas. Look at what we have on topic. Anyone is free to add an agenda item, related to whatever the interest area is, and they can just bring it up. And if someone has a specific idea that is not there, feel free to bring it up. And there's still a lot of gaps. And if there is something existing, I mean, we welcome anybody to just join in and start contributing and start working with the other folks that are interested in the same space. The idea that we also have is that we can join efforts to avoid duplication, right? So if somebody else has the same idea, then why not actually work together to join forces and make something better?
And I would like to add to that, like, I joined the AI working group about a year ago, and it's a very welcoming environment. Because, like, even in the meetings, like, it may look intimidating, but actually, when I speak up, like, people will stop and listen to.
Yeah, so we tried our best, and that's how we believe it's going to be going forward, and also we think it's a path to getting people excited about the technology and continuing to grow the working group and the space.
So, moving on, do you want to talk about your involvement with Tag Runtime?
Sure. Yeah. So with Tag Runtime, I became a co-chair maybe about 4 years ago, and the CNCF has a structure where they have a governing board that typically manages the finances of the CNCF, and then under the governing board, there's this entity called the TOC, and then the TOC initially, I think it was like maybe 7 members, 5 or 7 members, and then continued to grow. But the cloud native ecosystem kept on growing behind Kubernetes. So Kubernetes started all this, but it kept on growing with different projects around the Kubernetes technology. And some of them later may not necessarily be related to or directly related to Kubernetes, but it's just the ecosystem started to grow. And then so the need started to arise in terms of how do you break down this different type of streams of different areas, right? So the TOC worked on creating this tag structure around different technology areas like runtime, observability, application delivery, storage, network. And those were the 5 initial tags, but they actually created some more afterwards. And then so when that opportunity came for tag runtime, they were looking for co-chairs, and I jumped in and I put myself up there to be nominated, and basically became a co-chair, right? Uh, Similarly, there were other folks in the other tags that got involved in as co-chairs for the other different tags.
What does the runtime part of it do specifically?
Specifically, the container runtimes. There's several aspects, but initially, I think what people think about the most is the container runtimes, like Docker itself, or Containerd, or Cryo. There's projects that help you run containers in VMs, or help you run on any bare metal machine that you need to run a container. But the scope is a little bit wider. And the CCF is actually doing some restructure around the tags, and maybe there will be something happening in the next few months, because there's a lot within tag runtime right now. So you have, talking about the basic container runtimes, but there's also like the storage of these containers, like the image registries. There's also the AI type of workloads, like MLOps type of things. Also the GPU capacity management, or the orchestration of batch jobs. So which are very related to AI and processing large amounts of data. So so the scope is pretty wide, and there are many different things. But what you think about initially is just like basic runtimes, but there's a lot more than that.
That's pretty in depth. How are you enjoying KubeCon today?
It's great. I actually flew in last night because I've been so busy with work that I haven't been able to attend the full conference, but it was fun. I had the chance to attend the keynotes this morning. There are a lot of conversations around AI, and I think that'll continue to happen maybe in the next few years, right? And it's exciting. There are a lot of challenges. I mean, I think Nikita Raghunath, mentioned in the keynote this morning that, you can think about challenges at least in the next 10 years, and I don't think it's ever going to change, but there's always going to be stuff and exciting things to work on, and new things in the space.
And with all the AI hype, like, this is the place to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for talking to me today, Ricardo.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
And stay tuned. We'll have an interview after this with Melissa McKay.